Right, it is Green Football Weekend where fans are encouraged to do their bit to take on climate change. For more on this, we can rejoin David Garrido, who's at the Emirates for us. David.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. It is kind of the peak of the Green Football Weekend campaign. Started on the 18th of January, and since then fans have been scoring those green goals, trying to get their club up the leaderboard in the name of climate action. And we're here at the big game for Super Sunday, Arsenal against Liverpool. It's a great opportunity for us to talk to a big audience about climate change, about environmental issues. But it's a big game nonetheless, isn't it? Everyone wants to see it, be it on TV, live on Sky, or if you happen to be lucky enough to be here. And one man who is a regular around these parts, because he's an Arsenal season ticket holder, is the leader of the Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer. Great to see you.
Good morning.
So how are you feeling about this game? Is it must not lose in your eyes?
It's must not lose. This is a big, big game. I'll be in there this afternoon, a season ticket holder with my son, cheering us on. But we have got to win this one. Really, really big game for us.
Yeah.
And Liverpool are looking good, to be fair,
Yeah.
even without Salah. So this is a must-win.
OK, tell you what, let's take a little bit of a stroll, because I love this wall over here, talking about...
The Arsenal legend.
Right, OK, so lots of leaders here, of course, from Arsenal's recent past, the likes of Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, well, Tony Adams, of course, the captain. And Mikel Arteta is the leader, par excellence, of the club. What do you make of him as a leader? What leadership qualities do you like?
I really like him as a leader. I think he's fantastic. What he's done with this squad is he's built a squad. So what you've got with Arsenal now is lots of very good players playing well as a unit. So sometimes, obviously, in the past, we've had one outstanding player. This time, I genuinely think he's brought the best out of everyone. He's got a way of getting everyone to play sort of slightly better than their best game, and that's brilliant.
And which players really get you off your seat? Who needs to have a good game today for Arsenal to get a positive result?
I'd say Odegaard is always critical. If he's having a good game, playing that role, distributing the ball, then the whole team plays much better. Declan Rice always puts in a good shift.
Yeah.
But it's Odegaard, I think, that we need to watch this afternoon.
He's a bit like a metronome for the team. If he has a good game, then Arsenal, they tick along, don't they?
If he has a good game, we tick. He's also great leadership, I think, Odegaard. I saw him when he first came to us, obviously, before he was captain. When he was made captain, that authority just seems to have lifted him.
Yeah.
Always at the end of the game, he will go around, clap the fans, whatever the result. Really great leadership. Yeah. So I want to see him have a good game.
It's amazing because he's still quite young, isn't he, Martin Odegaard? Yeah. Look. I love this little statue here of the great Thierry Henry. Of course, we know him well over at Sky Sports. So, Keir, let me ask you about Green Football Weekend, because, of course, it is one of the big focuses of this weekend. We're trying to get fans together, united in the name of climate action. What do you make of the initiative as a whole?
I think it's a really good initiative, and I think lots of fans will want to get behind it. I think what can happen with football is if you get a campaign and it sort of surfs the wave, it can really take off. If you look at some of the work that was maybe done in relation to racism, that really caught the imagination of the fans, and now it is really rare actually in the stands to hear much racism. I'm not saying it's gone away completely. So if the same can happen on sustainability, capture the imagination, little things that fans can do, whether it's travelling, eating, whatever it is, I think, this is good.
Fans often voice a bit of concern and sometimes frustration about travel in particular, don't they? Because they want to travel sustainably. Sometimes it's expensive, sometimes it's just not possible. Do you sympathise with them? Does football need to work closer with other sectors like transport to give them those options?
I think it does, because, the best way most of the time is using trains and public transport rather than getting people driving in their cars. So we should do more of that. We need to work together on that, because some of the matches are really difficult for fans. I mean, Saturday night matches, that's all very well, but if you're coming out the ground at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and you're an away fan, that's one hell of a journey you've then got to do. So I do think there's much more we can do there.
What do you do in your life to be sustainable, to try and be a little bit more sort of planet-minded?
Well, I've been a vegetarian now for best part of 30 years. My wife's a vegetarian. Our daughter is, although our son isn't anymore. He's 15 and he's gone his own way. So we're quite a veggie-based family, and have been for a long time. And so that's one way of helping. It's also healthy. So that's what we do.
Yeah, and there is a real focus on transferring to veg. It is one of the main themes of Green Football Weekend, just switching out the meat, trying to go a little bit more plant-based with your options, both here on match day and indeed in your own lives. One other question about the football regulator that will be coming in. Environmental sustainability isn't particularly expressed in the work that it's set out to do. Would you like to see that change and improve?
I would like to see some emphasis given to that. Obviously, the main thing for the regulator is making sure that we don't have a breakaway Super League, and making sure some of those smaller place-based clubs, your Berries, etc., are sustainable as clubs going forward. Hugely, hugely important. But I do think the regulator could look at sustainability as well. Yeah. I'm not really in favour of mandating. I think a campaign and supporting campaigns is probably the right way forward. But I do think that's something the regulator could look at.
Yeah, and we know that football has got such an incredible cultural relevance, resonance, influence and soft power with fans that it can really make a big difference. Finally, let's get back to Arsenal against Liverpool. You knew this was coming. What's the final score going to be?
Well, I hate predictions. Last year I held off until about 8-9 games before the end of the season when I finally said I think Arsenal are going to win it this year, and look where that landed. Today, for this game, must win, I'd say 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, right. Well, we'll see if you're right. So, Keir Starmer, thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate you joining us here on Sky Sports News. So, 2-1 is the prediction from the man who wants to lead the country. We'll find out if he's right. Liverpool and Arsenal will be fighting tooth and nail for that win on the pitch. But off it, remember that clubs can collaborate in the name of sustainability. And we'll be telling you about a really good initiative between Liverpool and Arsenal when you're next back with us.